Hey everyone, welcome to Club Cal Online. My name is Grace and I'm here with Greg and we're going to take you through a stretch upper class. Today we're going to focus on back bending and this is a little bit more beginner focused, a little bit easier on the spine and shoulders. As far as equipment today, all you need is a yoga mat or just some comfortable floor space. We also have a couple of blocks, yoga blocks here. These are totally optional. If you don't have blocks, like a stack of books or just something, a couple water bottles, something to kind of elevate yourself with will work just fine, all right? And we're gonna start warming up just with some cat-cows. So I'll have Greg come down onto the mat. If you guys are familiar with any kind of yoga, you've probably seen this before, but you're just gonna start on hands and knees, then you're gonna drop your chest towards the floor, retract the shoulders, arch the back, arch the neck as far as is comfortable, and then you're gonna round the spine, so pulling the belly button in, separating the shoulder blades, tucking your chin to your chest, and we're just gonna go for about a minute. So at your own pace, all we're doing is just gently warming up the shoulders and the spine. Again, we are going to do a little bit of back bending today, so we want to warm up the entire length of our spine. And just feel free to go as slowly or as quickly as feels good for you. It's a great opportunity to kind of check in with your own body, see how things are feeling, especially your shoulders, your back. We're about halfway here. We're going to keep moving through this. And guys, if there's any other movement that feels good here, maybe you go side to side, kind of make a C shape with your spine or make some circles. Feel free to take any organic movement that just feels good to your body in this position. Let's take a couple more reps here. Yep, Greg's taking a little bit of side to side movement. Whatever feels good here, guys. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. We're going to flip it over and do some table rocks. So now hands are behind you, feet are in front. You're going to lift your hips up, but the focus here is on the shoulders. We want to roll the shoulders back at the top and then come back down. And we're going to spend about a minute on this one. You guys can go ahead and begin. Nice. And Greg has really good shoulder extension here, so his hips are getting up super high, guys. If your table rock does not look like this today, that's okay. The focus is just getting a stretch on the shoulders on the way up. You can see Greg is rolling his shoulders back and retracting. That's what we're going for here. And whatever range of motion you can do today, that's what you'll take. Make sure that whatever movements, whatever stretches we take today, that you guys keep it in a pain-free range of motion. If something is sharp as shooting or pinching, smaller range of motion, or you can always just skip anything that doesn't feel good. We got about 10 more seconds here. Let's get a couple more reps using that hip drive to stretch the shoulders at the top. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. We're going to flip it back over. We're going to do a down dog to up dog. I'll have Greg show this one as well. Or if you're not ready to arch your back, you're just going to go to a plank. So you're going to start in this down dog position, hips up in the air. Then you're going to come forward, shoulders down away from ears, retract the shoulders, and take it into your up dog. Okay, if you're not feeling that back bend yet and you just want to go to a plank, that's fine as well. We're going to do this one for a minute. And if you guys can see Greg, he's untucking his toes as he comes into the up dog. You can do it that way if that feels good. You can keep the toes tucked under. Either way is fine. Again, we're just using this movement to warm up the shoulders and warm up our lower back and upper back. And we want to aim to be really active in our upper back and shoulders. So squeeze the shoulder blades together, drive the chest forward and up. Good. How's that feel, Greg? Good. And it should feel good. It should feel just like a nice stretch on the shoulders, on the abs. Lots of blood flow through the shoulders here, nice and warm. We got about 10 more seconds. Let's get 1, maybe 2 more reps. Awesome. And release. All right. We're going to go into our first stretch. We're going to be focusing a lot on our shoulder flexion, so this overhead position. One other thing that you'll need that I forgot to mention is just a little bit of wall space. So we're gonna move it over to the wall and show you guys your first shoulder flexion stretch. So from here, you're gonna put your palms on the wall, and we want them about shoulder width apart, not super wide. You're gonna walk your hips back, and you're just gonna push your armpits towards the floor. And we want this stretch to stay in the shoulders, not going into the lower back. And we're gonna hold this one for a full minute and go for it. And if you don't have any clear wall space, there's lots of ways to do this one. You can do this one with your hands on a table or on a couch. But what we want to feel is a stretch. It'll probably be somewhere on the outside of the armpit. And you guys can see Greg's back. It's really nice and flat. He's not letting it arch into his lower back. He's really focusing on getting that stretch in the shoulders, and that's what we want. Okay, we're about halfway. Guys, keep breathing. This is also a lot of what we're doing today, but this stretch especially really great for mobility in your handstand, right? We want those really nice open shoulders in our handstand. So if you're tight there or lacking mobility, this is a great stretch to add into your routine to help you with your handstand. And go ahead and come out of that one. If you need to, maybe roll around the shoulders a little bit, kind of shake it out. We're gonna go back down into a similar shape, but this time your elbows are gonna be on the wall. So I'll have you show this one. I think you know this one. Hands are either gonna be on your shoulders, or you can bring your palms together behind you. Elbows are on the wall, but the back and shoulder position is the same, right? We're pushing the shoulders down towards the floor, not letting the stretch go into the lower back. We'll get into that spinal stretch and that back bending here in a bit, but first we're gonna focus on the shoulders. And this one you'll probably feel more in the triceps than you did on the last one. You also might feel it down into the lats, serratus, wherever you're tightest. Try to relax through the shoulders, maybe take some deep breaths here. If it becomes too intense, you can always walk the feet a little bit closer to the wall to take some of that weight out. We're about halfway. Got about 15 more seconds here. Now's a good time to check in with those shoulders. See if you can push those armpits down towards the floor just a tad bit more. If not, that's okay. That's always good to check in near the end to see if you have any more range. And release. All right, shake it out. We're gonna come back down to the floor. We're done with the wall. And we're gonna hold either a Cobra or a Sphinx. So again, if you have any experience with yoga, you might be familiar with this. So option one is exactly what Greg is doing, right? He's up on his palms, he's retracting the shoulders. He's also keeping the shoulders away from the ears. The other option, if this is too intense on your shoulders or your lower back, will you come down to forearms and just show this on forearms? This is another one, and we're gonna do a couple rounds of this. So if that first one is a little bit much, you're gonna come down onto the forearms and you're just gonna work on retracting your shoulder blades and reaching your chest forward and up. And we're gonna hold it for a minute. So if you are in that full Cobra, it can be kind of a lot of work on the arms, so feel free if you're starting there and your arms fatigue to come down to this forearm position, all right? So choose which one you like, and we're gonna hold for a minute. And we do wanna make sure that we are a little bit active in this stretch, so we're not just hanging out on our forearms and our hands, but we're actively pulling the shoulders back, actively driving the chest forward, trying to get as much work happening in our upper back as possible, just so it's not all in the lower back. How's that one feeling? Good, all right. Excellent. A little over halfway, guys. Keep breathing. Remember to stay active, drive the chest forward, drive it up. As always, keep it in a pain-free range of motion. If you're feeling pinching pain, especially in the low back, maybe bring it lower to the ground. We got 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. And we're gonna pair that. Yeah, come on out. And these are pretty intense, so if you need to kind of like move it around a little bit, feel free. We're gonna pair that with a seated shoulder extension. So you're just gonna have a seat, bring the arms behind you, bring the shoulders together behind you. Yep, if you can get hands together, that's a little bit more advanced. If not, just bringing the hands as close together as possible. And then you're just gonna slide your hips forward until you feel that stretch. Awesome. Greg's got great mobility in the shoulders, guys. Another thing to just be mindful of in this one is the elbows. It's okay if you feel a stretch in the elbows. If it's painful, again, sharpshooting, we don't want that. Feel free to bend the elbows just a little bit here to take that pressure off. And again, we want to stay a little bit active in that upper back, so squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest up towards the ceiling. And remember just to take it wherever your body is at today. Greg's pretty mobile in his shoulders. Your shoulder extension might not look like this today. You might just be here, and that's totally fine. You might be lower. Just a reminder to listen to your body. We want to feel a stretch, but nothing that's too uncomfortable. Bend the elbows if you need to. We've got 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and come on out of it. And again, if you need to, you can kind of bend the elbows a little bit. That one's intense on the elbows. We're gonna do one more round of both of those stretches, starting with that Cobra or Sphinx. So again, 1 minute, and you choose which position you want. Maybe it's the Cobra, maybe it's on the elbows, or a combination of both. And we're gonna hold it. And staying active the whole time, driving the shoulder blades back. Good. And again, this does require a little bit of work by the arms, right? So if those arms or shoulders are feeling a little fatigued, that's totally okay. That's a part of it. They're working a little bit to hold you up. Halfway. Good. Nice. Greg's working hard on this one. I can see that. Pulling the shoulders back. How you feeling? It can be a lot of work, right? Just to hold yourself in this position. We're almost there. This might be the hardest thing you do all day in this class. 10 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on out of it. Nice job. All right, we're gonna do that seated shoulder extension one more time. Same thing we did before, listen to those elbows. We're gonna spend a minute in this position. And here we go. Good, and now that we've done it once already, you might find yourself being able to get a little bit lower into it, but if not, that's okay too. We don't wanna force anything that's not there. Just a reminder to stay active in the shoulders, so actively squeezing them together, always checking in with those elbows. It is totally okay to bend the elbows a little bit if you're feeling some pressure or discomfort there. Little over halfway. Remember to breathe here. Make adjustments as needed. If it gets too intense or you need more of a stretch, feel free to bring the hands closer to you, bend the elbows, go wider, whatever you need to do here. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Bring it up, shake it out a little bit. All right, we're gonna move into a shoulder bridge. So this one is gonna focus a little less on the shoulders, even though it's called a shoulder bridge, and start to get a little bit more of that back bending movement. So I'll have Greg show this one. He's gonna lie on his backside, and the feet are gonna be bent. Knees are bent, and the feet are probably, 6 to 8 inches from your backside. He's gonna have his palms on the ground, or another option is once you lift the hips to interlace your hands underneath you, that's an option as well. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take some reps. So he's gonna push into his heels and lift the hips up and drive his chest towards his chin. So we're aiming for some arch in the back here and then come back down. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take 30 seconds of reps up and down, and then we're gonna hold it for 30 seconds, all right? So go ahead and begin those reps. Good, he's going super slow, which is awesome. Really feeling that movement. Good, and sometimes when we do these hip bridges, we try not to arch if the focus is on strengthening the glutes. But today I am gonna have you guys try to arch your back, try to drive the chest towards your chin. Good, get really active in your upper back here. Good. Love that slow pace, amazing. All right, that's 30 seconds. We're gonna go up and we're gonna hold it. And so we wanna be active in the upper back. Also wanna be active in the legs, right? Pushing down through those feet is what's gonna kind of drive this shape here. Trying to get as much of that arch into the mid back and upper back. Good, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Very nice. We are going to do another set of that, but before we do, I'm going to have you guys just come up into a seated pike. We're just going to give that lower back a little bit of a rest, and you're just going to kind of come forward and just relax. You don't have to pull yourself down. This doesn't have to be a super deep stretch. We're just kind of giving that low back a little bit of a rest. You can move around a little bit here, whatever feels good. Just take a couple deep breaths here, relax the shoulders, relax the back. Excellent. So we're going to go into our second round. Exact same thing. We're going to lift and lower for 30 seconds, and we're going to hold the top of that bridge. And remember, an option here too, if you're a little more flexible in the shoulders, is to interlace your hands underneath your body, or palms can be on your sides. All right, we got 30 seconds, go for it. Drive with the legs, active upper back. Excellent. Always, always, always listening to your body here, especially the lower back. It is not worth it to push through pain or discomfort beyond just the discomfort of stretching. All right, we're gonna lift and then hold 30 seconds here, real active in the legs. Yep, and then Greg's taking the interlace of the hands. Awesome, so there's a little bit of a shoulder stretch here as well if you are bringing the arms underneath you, because they have to retract. It's that shoulder extension that we've been working this whole time. Got another 10 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and go ahead and rest. Excellent. All right, guys, we are coming to our final position. So if you'd like, you can go back into that forward fold that we did before. I'm going to show you, we're going to do a camel position. I'm going to show you a couple different options while I'm demoing. Guys, feel free to take that forward fold. We'll give Greg an opportunity to kind of stretch his back a little bit. So this is another yoga shape, if you will. So if you're familiar with that, you've probably seen this one. And we're just going to use it as just kind of a gentle back bend and shoulder stretch. So you're going to start on your knees, and you don't want your knees super far apart, but they don't have to be touching either, just kind of in line with your hip joints. And just like a lot of the stretches that we've done today, we want to stay active. So we don't just want to like flop backwards, but we want to stay active in the upper back and active in the legs. So if you've never done this before, or you found that some of these previous stretches, your spine and shoulders are really tight, my recommendation is just to keep your hands on your hips or on your low back, lift the chest up towards the ceiling, roll your shoulders back, and just hold it here. right? Staying active in your upper back the whole time. This is where the blocks might come in handy, but again, if you don't have blocks, anything that can kind of hold you up, the blocks can give you kind of a little bit more challenging position, but not all the way down to the floor. So same idea, you're gonna push the hips forward, chest up, reach back for your blocks or whatever you're using, and then you can kind of use that to get into a little bit deeper stretch, okay? Full camel, so toes can be tucked under, that'll give you a little bit more height, or for the most challenge possible, heels all the way down, and you can reach back for the heels, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and lift up. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 sets of this. It's only gonna be a 30-second hold because it's pretty intense, and in between, we'll rest our shoulders, we'll rest our back. Do you want these, or you're probably good? Without them, okay. All right, and guys, remember we're doing 2 rounds, so this first round, you can kind of ease your way into it, see how it feels. That second round, maybe challenge yourself a little bit more. So let's set it up. And remember, active, so push the hips forward, chest is up. Good, good, good. And again, Greg's pretty mobile here, so he's got his hands about as low as they can go. Yours might not look like that today. That's okay. Either way, active shoulders. Retract the shoulders, lift the chest, push the hips forward. We got 10 more seconds here. Guys, feel free to come out of it before the 30 seconds if you need to. 3, 2, and come on out. Nice, how you feeling? Good. So in between, since we're already on your knees, we're just gonna take kind of a child's pose. Just gonna relax here. Just a gentle lower back stretch. If you wanna go back into that seated pike, that's fine as well. We're just gonna take a little less than a minute, and then we're gonna do that one more time. Let's start to make our way back to our knees. And remember that setup. We don't want to go super wide with the knees. They're just thighs parallel. And we've done it once, so if you feel like you kind of know what it feels like, if you feel like you can challenge yourself a little bit more, go for it. If you need to scale it back, that's okay too. All right, let's start to make our way into it. And once we're there, we're gonna hold for 30. Good, good, good. Always staying active, driving the hips forward, driving the chest up. You'll notice Greg is kind of dropping his head back. Totally optional, right? If that feels good on the neck, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just kind of keep it neutral. Chin in towards the chest. Good, good, good. Almost there. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on out. Nice work. We're gonna finish on our back side. We're gonna take a twist just to kind of stretch out our back in a different way. So you're gonna come down onto your back side. And we're gonna go down here. You're gonna bring one knee into your chest, and you're gonna take it over to the opposite side of your body, and that arm kind of comes out into a letter T. I personally like to finish back bending with a little twisting. Feels good on the back, feels good on the spine. And guys, as always, we're stopping it at 2 rounds, but if you are feeling pretty open and you want to take another round or 2 of that camel pose, either 30 seconds or whatever is available to you, feel free to pause the video, do a couple more rounds, and then join us for this final stretch when you're ready. And go ahead and take it over to the other side. Bring the knee into the chest, take it over to the opposite side. That arm kind of comes out into a letter T. And we're just holding a little less than a minute here, and then you'll be good to go. Great opportunity to just kind of relax here, take some deep breaths. You can close the eyes if you'd like. Nice, come on out of it. Excellent, nice work. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this stretch class, and we'll see you again next time.